back to Sticks and Strings. I'm Naomi.
I'm Beth.
I'm Eve.
And it is May. Happy May.
Yeah, April showers bring May flowers.
Oh, there we go. These are paper flowers that Eve made. Aren't they incredible? I'm so proud of you that you made those.
I want to make more, but
Don't say it. Every week we say the same thing. All my stuff is storage.
well, no, that I could have made more after I made these, but I want to make something different, and I used to have Skillshare.
Oh yeah.
And that's where I found the patterns for these.
Yeah.
And because I'd like to make more of the same thing, kind of, but I want to make different things.
Yeah. Have you tried Craftsy? It's a pretty low cost.
I saw it when I was with
Subscription.
Skillshare. You sent me something from Craftsy.
And they might have classes on that. I don't know.
But the company that sells that, this
paper?
is fancy crepe paper. They have tutorials that you can follow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's so pretty. It's really neat. It's a neat little rabbit hole you went down. A couple of years ago,
and very
right?
different. Very, yeah.
And they're so big and pretty. And so realistic looking.
I keep them in a vase.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're so
but
pretty.
I pull them out of the vase to put them on the table.
So
Because the vase, if they were in the vase,
they would really cover Beth. We like to cover Beth, but we gotta draw the line somewhere. So happy May. You know us. We like to sit around and talk about our various crafts and where we are and what we're doing. So grab your craft, grab your drink of choice, and sit back and relax with us for a little while. I'm gonna go first. I had to throw the dogs out. They're being
I
obnoxious.
thought Hank was going to give himself a concussion.
Yeah.
He banged it. The table's hard. It actually lifted the table
Hank
up.
got the horrible case of the zoomies when I got over here, and then they've just been kind of.
And he ran out the
front door and around the side of the house, and then when we finally got him in, he was like, "My freedom! I tasted freedom!" And then he was zooming all over the house. I'm like,
so I threw him out, and
then he was zooming
in
all over
back.
the yard.
He's
like,
cute when he
freedom,
does.
freedom.
He's cute when he has zoomies.
So I saw this. Okay, really quick. I saw this video of a woman who adopted a feral stray cat, and the title of the video was like 190 days with Cheese. It was an orange cat, and she named him Cheese. And at the beginning, you see he's like terrified and like in one of those traps, and then he's hissing at her all the time, and then of course little vignettes, and by the end, he's so sweet and loving and just normal house cat. And somebody in the comments said, Stockholm Syndrome. And somebody else said, I think of that every time I get a new pet. We just force them to love us and like depend on us. And,
You'll like it here. You really will.
You really will. Just so I guess Hank got his little moment of like, oh my God. But
this isn't the only world, is it?
Yeah, but
there's more.
Robert,
he came in.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Anyway, so I'm going first. I am still working on my knit swirl sweater called Stratosphere, and
sorry,
that's the music my sweater makes. I've got. I have done. That's not right. Is that right? 5 welts, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, I did do 5 welts. So the welts, I don't know if you can see them. You can, yeah, there's a good shot. It's reverse stockinette, which is the purl side is outside, and then here is stockinette, and then reverse stockinette, reverse stockinette. So it makes a wavy fabric like that. And that is the color it's going to be. I thought it might be more blue, but it's really giving gray with blue in there, and I like it a lot. And I'm imagining it's going to be a large jacket, and I think it's going to be cool. I think it'll be casual enough, but also can be kind of cool and dressy. And one thing I did last night, I was up very late, and I decided to weave in all the little ends from joins and the cast on and everything. So, and I even sewed the
Excuse
when
me.
you start this sweater, you start it flat and for 3 rows, and then you join in the round so that you can make sure it's not twisted. And so I had this little V of, and so I sewed it up last night, and you can see the seam a little bit right there, but it's not bad. It's not a bad little join. Only I will know where it is. But yeah, so I just decided I'm sick of all the ends. And when I join a new ball of yarn, I'm doing that. I think it's called the Russian join, where you take one yarn and you kind of with a
sew them
needle,
into
you sew it into the other one, and then you stretch it out and you have little tails hanging on both sides. And then because this has real wool in it, it also has silk and mohair, I think. I can't remember the exact makeup of this yarn, but it has real wool. So I just stuck that thing in my mouth. So sorry, this is gross. But the saliva actually, more than even water, helps the fibers to bind. And then you just make it really hot and friction, and it felts. So you can't even see where the join is. And so that's nice. I was able.
I like those Russian joins.
Yeah.
They're kind of scary when you do them the first
And
time.
it has to be with natural fibers. It can't be with acrylic, I don't think.
Oh, I did it with acrylic and it worked
Really?
fine.
Um,
You just have to have enough of it has to have enough
grab.
width.
Oh, yeah.
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 Once
this
upon a
is-
time, the little lady said, "What do I stuck this in my mouth and did?"
Yeah. Well, and so this is a single ply yarn. So I was a little bit worried about doing that, but with the spit splice, as they call it. So it's kind of a combo of spit splicing and the Russian join. So, because I don't think I can spit splice this by itself, because it's a single ply, meaning there's only one twist of yarn on here. It's not plied and then plied back on itself like that. So so I'm going along. I don't know. I've made some progress. The other thing that has transpired was I was looking at that one sweater, the agave with the leaves on it, by Yumiko Alexander, and that one I showed you last week. And I started to look into it and think about it, and I'm like, wait a minute. Yumiko Alexander, first of all, she lives in Arizona. Second of all, I remember that she was one of my Knit Stars.
You already had the
Teacher.
pattern?
I already had a pattern by her. So Knit Stars is something actually that's on sale right now, the 9th season. Is something I did for, I think, 4 seasons in a row. They, if you look up Knit Stars at knitstars.com, you can buy it. It feels horribly expensive because it is like $300. But you get classes from, I want to say it's like 10 stars this year. So these are very popular, kind of famous knit designers and teachers and things that are out there. So Arne and Carlos did it the years before I found Knit Stars, so I didn't get their class.
But you get to keep it, don't you?
Once you buy the season, it's yours forever. All the videos, everything. You have a library.
So
I
it's
have
not
a
like they
library.
disappear after 30
No, and
days.
if you think
or-
about it, if there's 10 teachers and it's $300, that's $30 a lesson.
Yeah.
And each teacher has like, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 videos. So you have like the first video is like, and it's beautiful cinematography. It's like their life, their town, where they live, their whole lifestyle. And then they teach you whatever technique is the focus of the class and walk you through their pattern. And so like Osa Tricosa was on there one year. I love her stuff. And so there's, so anyway, I was like, wait, Yumiko was one of the Knit Stars. So I went through my Knit Stars library, and also I was like, dang it, I should be doing a lot of these patterns in here, because they're free patterns, free downloads, it's all there. I already bought it, the videos are still there. So I looked, and I was like, and you know how I was like, I'm going to surprise her. I decided not to surprise her, because I have stopped being able to guess what that child is thinking. Like, I never know. Like, she's going to be like, oh, I have enough tops, Mom. Or, oh, no, no, no. So I never know. And I thought, if I surprise her, I don't know exactly what color she wants.
Yeah.
And, blah, blah, blah. So I went through my Knit Stars and I found Yumiko's class. And the pattern that we got free, I'm just going to zoom in on this, is this one called Horizon. And it's made out of linen.
That's pretty.
And it's just kind of a very boxy cut, and so when you wear it, it drapes the way it drapes down on the sides there. Yeah. And it's a very loose knit. It's probably going to take me 5 seconds. So I sent her this screenshot of the pattern, and I was like, you know how I like to make you a top every summer? I said, I've never worked with linen, and I really want to. Now, I can't afford Yumiko Alexander's linen. She has her own yarn line called Dando. And it's called it, which means warm earth in Japanese. And I'm like, well, she lives in Arizona, no wonder. So I can't afford that yarn, but I can find a linen that will work. And this calls for, I believe it's a DK weight. So I sent her this, and I was like, do you like this pattern? And she goes, so I was like wondering what she was saying. She's like, I love it. That's totally my summer vibe. Yes, I think I would like it in black. And I'm like, okay, great. So, I was like, okay. And then maybe a day later, I get a little message. Mom, can you make one of these for Corley? Her friend Corley, who's also, I think she's a viola player. And she's like, she yearns. She saw it, and I'm like, yes, I will be a knit mom again. Remember, I made her best friend Jordan a sweater.
Yeah.
So I'm like, fine. What color does she want? Just same as me. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I have to go out and find yarn for
Black is so hard to work with.
Well,
but
I know, but
it looks so cool.
It's going to look
done.
cool, and I know she wants it so that she can perform it.
I was gonna say, yeah.
And she's going to Tanglewood at the end of June. So that's my timeline. I need to get it to her before she leaves for Lennox. I mean, I can send it to her in Tanglewood too. But
when I was
you better get started.
When I was playing with the symphony, it's like every fall I would kind of you get you want something new
right, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm leaving for Chicago on the 19th. So I have oh my God, 2 weeks. Sorry, I had just had work stress for a second, but I'm going to this conference, and I'm like, of course, part of my planning, like, what classes am I going to take when I'm at this conference? What am I going to pack to wear? And what knitting project am I going to take? That's like really up there. So I'm just like, do I take this? Because I will probably have a lot of time alone by myself in a hotel room to knit, and I can make a lot of progress on here. And I'm like, nope. I'm gonna take that. So I got to get everything set for this project because now I have to make 2. And but watching the class, basically it's just a rectangle, and it comes. You sew the shoulders together, to have like a wide opening. So it's just like that, and then down a certain area you sew the side seam down. And then it hangs on your body, and the drape makes the sleeve. So it's super easy. It's just making a rectangle. Well, 4 rectangles, because now I have to make 2 of them. But anyway, and they want the same size, and so that's easy. And so I thought, okay, well, that will be my Chicago travel project. And I haven't even looked at the pattern, like what it's like to knit, but it looks like it's probably drop stitches, or probably yarn wraps and drop stitches, kind of like that shawl I made. Yeah. So,
well, you got to figure if they gave it away as a free pattern, it can't be that.
Well, it was Knit Stars.
Yeah, but I mean, that complicated.
Yeah,
because,
it's like advanced beginner. Yeah, no, and it's a nice. So she sells it now. It was free with my $300 Knit Stars tuition, but no. So a lot of her tops are like this. So it's. But I've never worked with linen before. Yeah. So I'm excited to do that. So that is on my plate for now, and that's me. I'm all done. So I guess Beth's going second.
Yeah. Let me put this stitch in the back here so I can. So last week was the end of April. Now is the beginning of May. So
I think everybody knows
I had.
that. Sorry.
She's talking about her calendar of work.
I know.
So I had. I think I had shown my where I was with a whale, which was what I had been working on. And I had what were my 3 projects? The whale and the bald eagle and something else. I don't know. But so I was, finishing up on those. But I had my my new starts for April to do. So since I don't have any specific goal, I just worked a couple days on them, or whatever. And so this was one of them. This is just, I'm going to show it, just the title. This flower came in handy. The blue flower is a freebie that she did for 2025 market using the Night Garden Stitch the Rainbow set. And this was by Threadworks. So these are the 4 colors from last year that they used. This one is Merlot, and this one is Concord Grape, and this is, I think, Parrot Bay, and this is Coffee and Cream. So these 4 colors were what were the Stitch the Rainbow colors last year. And so her cat hair all of this. Her free pattern was Iris. It's very straightforward, just flowers. And so I started with in the middle with this first Iris. So here, just the blue petals on the flower. So I just did this till I finished all the blue on this first flower. And this is. We had it labeled as 32, but it seems very, very tiny. But this is one of the pieces of fabric from the Be Stitch Me grab bag that our friend sent us.
That is tiny.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I when I first started doing this, I started it with 2 threads, and the needle that I had seemed really thick on this fabric. I was having trouble making sure I was, getting it in the hole and all that. So I went to switch needles, and then I decided, maybe I'll just do 1 thread over 2, and
Yeah, that's not
And
32.
so- Yeah.
We counted wrong.
Yeah. So
We were counting a lot of fabric that day.
yeah. So it's like I said, I think this is at least 36, if not. I don't think it's 40, but yeah. So I went to just 1 thread. So yeah. So anyway, that's that, and and part of me always like, well, maybe I could go back to it and do some more, but it's already May. I've got things to do in May. And my other one of my other new starts for April was Under the Full Moon by the Stitch Crypt, and this is beautiful owl on a branch. And this is the one that I talked about, using this dark purpley, black, grayish dark fabric that I have, that I had made before. And I had the one big piece, and I when I was going through all this stuff, I realized I had the smaller piece that I had cut out of to make smaller patterns with it. And so I looked at it, and this is my smaller piece with a big, chunk cut out of it. And I realized it's big enough for the pattern. So you can't see it right going through it here. But so, and I had a lot of anxiety because it's just wide enough. So I was like measuring it, because I didn't have like a proper measuring thing. I was using my corner guide. Let's see, this is 3 inches, this is 6 inches, this is 9. I'm like, and then I was having anxiety, like, is it 28 count or is it 32 count? Because if it's 28 count, this isn't wide enough. But if it's, so yeah. So I just went ahead and started it because it has this black, border around the design. And I thought, okay, it won't kill me if the black border doesn't fit. You know, if there's not enough margin on either side, I can just ignore it and start on the other piece and just leave this for, you know, pluck it out later or whatever. But it fit very nicely. The only problem was when I was doing this, across the top of this little framing part, there's you know, it's like gaps, right? Here's the corners, and then you go in a little bit and you do one, and you go in a little bit and you do two, and you know. But there's one place where you do that, but there's 3 empty stitches, and somehow when I was counting it, I counted it, you know, just wrong. And I did the stitch on the 3rd square instead of skipping the 3rd square and doing it on the 4th square. So I didn't realize that I had done it wrong, and I went all the way over here, and then when I was doing this side, I just looked at this side and copied it. And then I was doing the inner frame thing, and I got over here and I wanted to do this moon. So I started to do the moon, and it was like bumping up against the edge, and I'm like, that's not right. And then I went back and I realized it's all wrong. So I took out like the 2 corners and moved them out. And this, I had already done this big long thing, so I took this out. So I did frog a lot of what I did, but I fixed it, and I went back to do the moon. The only problem with this moon is that there's like I want to say 3 or 4 shades in here. The pattern calls for Blanc, 738, and some other color, and then like and then a very light gray. I guess, yeah, Blanc and 738 and this very light gray, and they all, when I was thinking, they all look the same to me. So I'm like, I'm having to really, you can kind of see the difference in there's the it's like 414 or something like 415, the gray, that you could actually, you know, see the difference in shading. And I guess the point is, when you look at it, you know, it just looks like the slightly gray shadings of the moon, whatever. But I'm like, that's really hard.
I can see the difference.
It's really hard to tell, you know, in the middle of it.
I see it.
Between the,
It'll look nice.
Yeah,
When you're
yeah.
stitching, it's
yeah,
hard.
yeah.
Yeah.
When the between the B5200 and the 758 was how I really had trouble, because they just look like they both look white. The 414 whatever color is a little easier to see, but yeah, I was just having to count like a mad person, and I had realized there's a thread here on the back. I was in the middle of something, but and here's some more of it.
No.
Stuck to the back. I'm gonna stick it in there. But anyway, so I was very happy to have this piece of fabric to use, and to have it fit on there, and it'll fit very nicely lengthwise as well. So, yeah. So that was another of my April new starts. And then my 3rd new start for April was this little diamond painting baby elephant kit, and I did just a couple of colors. It's funny, I always think of, like, you know, you associate what you're watching on TV a lot of times with, you know, what you're working on. And so I was watching one of those reaction videos to somebody watching The Devil Wears Prada for the first time.
Yeah.
So that's what I thought of immediately when I pulled this out. But so I just did, you know, I can't help but be like a color complete. It's like, I have these colors out. I'm gonna do everything I can find in this color. So I did 2 shades though. I did 2 shades of this purple color. So there's this corner here I did a lot of, and then I did a lot down here in this corner, and then a few here and there. But so, you know, I worked primarily on this side. But it's this baby elephant looking at himself in a reflection there. So, yeah. So, yeah, I worked on this for a day or 2. And the other thing, stick this, sorry for the crinkle, but I'm going to stick this back in here so I don't lose it. And the other thing I worked on, I wanted to do this on my father's birthday, which was April 20th, but we were out of town at the memorial and all that, and that was the day of the memorial. But this is To My Dear Father by Little Robin Designed, and And unfortunately, the part that I'm working on this house is in the middle, and it's all kind of, this shade of brown, this shade of off-white, and this other shade of off-white. But I did get a little bit more. I worked down and got these little, I guess they're the windows or something like that. Yeah, they're the windows we got in here. So, but a lot of it is just kind of shading, so they're also very close in color to the fabric. So you can see it up close, but it doesn't really stand out very much that way. But anyway, it's just this big old-fashioned house, and there's a fence and like a river on the bottom. So I've only worked on it just very briefly, on my dad's birthday or whatever. So I might work on it again a little more for Father's Day in June. So
That's cute.
yeah, but it's nice. It's very pretty, and it's the title is "To My Dear Father," but on the pattern it's in French, "À mon cher père." And I looked on her website, and it doesn't say anything about, is this like a reproduction of an older pattern, or anything about the well, it's in French. It has this 1845 on the bottom. What's that about? I didn't find anything about it. So I don't know.
What are your May projects?
Huh?
What are your May calls?
That's what I'm going to do right now. So for May, I have, fortunately, just two. One of them, the one I haven't started yet. It's a WIP, obviously, and I'm hoping that I can actually finish it this month. Silver Creek Samplers, Lost and Found, and it has a saying there: "I'm a lost sheep gone astray. Shepherd, find me, this I pray. O shepherd, listen to my prayer and keep me in thy loving care." So yeah, this is by Silver Creek Samplers, and last time I worked on it, I did a lot of progress on the sheep, and I did a lot of the first part of the words here. There's a border across the top, and this tree. So, everything's, partway done. So I'm hoping I can get, at least get the words done, and the border thing, and, it's just a lot of stitching. The words go pretty quickly, but there's a big, chunk of like grass that the sheep is standing on, and then the sheep itself is pretty complicated. So, but anyway, that's one of my May projects. My two May new starts is one of them is Moon Gazer by Beth Twist, and it's a little bunny sitting on looks like snowy field at night, looking at the full moon. I see a lot of white in my future.
Oh yeah, that's gonna drive you nuts. And the moon.
Yeah.
The snow and the moon.
Yes.
And is it like little stars too?
Yeah.
Girl.
It's so pretty. And then the other one, I'll show you just this part of it. This is a freebie by Lindy Stitches called Never Mind. And this is a play on the Edgar Allan Poe, quoth the raven nevermore. And so this is a freebie from, I want to say, 2024. So, but the quote on it says, "Never mind, quoth the passive-aggressive raven." So it's just a bird and some like candelabras and some flowers.
I hear it like "never mind."
Yeah. And it says on the corner of the picture where it says a haunting freebie. Yeah, so that's another one of my new starts. So then the one I've been working on though is Millie, one of the animal crackers. Last month I worked on, that was the other one.
Yeah.
Last month I worked on the fox, yeah. So, this cat hair is all over my thing. So this is another one where last time I worked on it was a new start, and I had it was like, I think it was also like, not in the month of April, but that particular month was one with 3 patterns in it, you know, because of WIP-GO, the number 13 being drawn. So like April, like this month, like April, I mean, you know, had 3 patterns. So I had 3 whips and 3 new starts, and I was like, ah. And so I remember at the end of the month, I had the 3 animal crackers were my new starts, and I put like, you know,
One thread a piece.
Yeah, you know, little bitty stitches because I like crammed them all in at the end of the month. So this was one of them. That and like the fox had, you know, like I don't know which is the top, I don't know which is the bottom, I don't know how many threads I use, I don't know. But so since I figured it out with the fox, then I was able to figure this one out. And fortunately, I had like on the pattern I had marked like the lines that I had done, and so I was able to see, okay, this is where I am right now. So so I'm working on just the blanket on the elephant's back, and it's when I get to the body of the elephant, it's a lot of gray. I'm going to be stitching, but so for now I'm working on just this blanket, and I don't want to miscount anything because I thought I was getting sick of this this one thread, this color. So I thought, well, maybe I could do like there's like a little fringy border thing around here, but I thought, but once I get up here, like miscounted, and I don't want to miscount on this, you know, this is like, again, 32 count, even weave, I think. And I thought, for a minute, I thought maybe I had dyed this myself, but I don't think I did. Because I have several pieces of it, and there's like no modeling or anything like that on it. So I don't know where, I must have bought it like at Hobby Lobby or something once upon a time, I don't know. But it's a nice sort of a light minty green color, and all my 3 animal cracker patterns, you know, stand out very nicely on this. So, yeah. So like I said, I did more of this blanket, and I really am not that far from finishing it. It's just it's just very tedious, a lot of back and forth stitching because I'm skipping over, you know, where these little flower little 4 things are. It'll be another color there, but again, I don't want to start on them and then get up here and like accidentally miscount or something, because they're not like evenly spaced. They're, you know, just sort of semi-random in their placement, and so it's hard to predict exactly where, you know, they're not all in a row or anything like that. So anyway, that is me. I'm looking forward to May and not having as many projects.
Yeah, you know, I think with WIP-GO, I think I'm going to start leaving the center empty.
What'd you say?
Leaving the center empty.
Oh.
Yeah, last month was kind of gnarly with all those projects, especially since I add 2 more with.
Oh, because she called the free square last.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, so some people have it as a free square to do whatever they want or whatever, but I have another
Filled
project
it up
stuck on
nice.
there.
Yeah, I have another 2 projects in there, one to start, one to, and I had WIP-GO fail last month, so I didn't start one of my new starts. I just wasn't feeling it. I started something else, and you know. So again, I am working on Murder in the Garden by Hands On Design. I've decided to put that where I'm not going to lose it. I decided to just go ahead, since I had started this raven over here, I decided to just go ahead and finish everything over there. And then I'll move on, and where there's not a green leaf where there one belongs, I'll put it in.
So that's going to be like a big pumpkin, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah, it's round. It's in the round, and I have to be really careful that I'm putting the stitches the right direction. So I have the needle minder on the bottom right so that I know which is the bottom. So that I,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah, so that's what I'm working on right now. This past week, instead of sewing, ouch, my needle was poking out and poking me. I made some scissor fobs. These are wooden beads that I had.
They're cute.
They're patriotic.
They're
Stars.
patriotic wooden beads, and this is a different version with just a little star instead of a big and a little star. And then these, we already had. These are already in the Etsy shop. These are just USA charms. USA with a flag on it. And if you recall from last week, I had those little USA beads. So here's the one with the USA beads. I know you can't see it, but you know, there'll be a picture. And here's the one with the freedom beads. This one says, it's a flag on one side, and on the other side it says land of the free because of the brave. And these just say USA. And there's two.
Nice.
So those,
So you can put those on your scissors, or you can clip them to your ears. No, I'm just kidding.
But
So
they're
those
not
will-
for the semi-sesquicentennial or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
they,
So-
well, and they go with the bags that I made, and I
Right.
may make some more. I don't know. We'll see.
So those are all going to be on our Etsy shop.
They already are.
They already are.
So as you recall, I've been making these flower
Oh yeah.
granny squares, and I finally made another one.
You got over your.
I put on my big girl pants, and I just got on with it. So and this is supposed to be a daffodil, and I know the yellow is very pale, but you know,
No, you're not buying your.
I'm not gonna go buy.
Good for you.
I'm not gonna go buy yellow yarn. Although a lot of these flowers call for yellow, and so now it's gonna be pale yellow because that's what I have. This little center thing for the daffodil was giving me grief. But then I had also been thinking about what I was going to do with the granny squares.
Mm-hmm.
And in this little book, it's got, you know, ideas for joining them and stuff. And I was looking at this picture here.
Mm.
So now you're like, I got to make plain ones.
Well, yeah. I just decided, and the thing that I have the most of is black, that I can be sure that I can get exactly the same color.
Mm-hmm.
So I went around one of them and I loved it,
Yeah.
Nice.
you know. And
It'll
then I
make
made
them really pop.
a
Yep, plain black.
plain black one, so they'll go like this.
Nice.
So this one needs one here, one here, one here, one here. And then you, in the corner, you put another one of these.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to go around the ones that I've already blocked. These haven't been blocked, but I'll just, you know, pretend that they have and put them together.
Yeah.
So, because with acrylic yarn, it's not that important. It's just with these, I want to block them because sometimes they end up kind of wonky because of the flower stitches.
Right.
So, being bored of that,
You know.
I had this pattern for a while. I just didn't want to print it, and I kept trying to work on it with it on my phone. And you know, the phone would fall asleep, and you know, and I'd lose my place. So I went ahead and bit the bullet and printed out one flower's worth, which was 10 pages, which is why I didn't want to
what
print
is
it.
it? A crochet
The crochet
Pot?
flowers pots.
with the pot and
you
everything.
crochet the pot, everything.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
So I've only made 5 of the. This has 6 big petals and 6 little petals. I've only made 5 of these, and I haven't put the extra color around yet. So I have these 5, and I just work on this when I'm
Bored of everything else.
when I have the mental energy to do it right, because
That was complicated but cool.
I think it'll be fun, and the thread I bought, yarn I bought, I could not find at Hobby Lobby the right weight of yarn. So I'm making it bigger than what it would be if I did it.
I see.
Because I was just like, I'm not going to go online and look for, and order it. No, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be fun, not a,
There's also Tempe Yarn and Fiber, which has all kinds of weight of everything.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Across town, and
Yeah, that's true. It's much further for you.
yeah.
I forgot.
So I keep plugging away at this flag. I am nowhere near where I would want it to be for the beginning of May, but that's life. It's going to get done eventually. It'll be around for next July.
Nice. Wow. Though the blue's almost done.
The blue is almost done.
That's cool.
When I put the what's it called on it? Embroidery hoop on it.
Yeah.
I now have red in that embroidery hoop.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then after I finish the blue, I'm just gonna work red, white, red, white. I'm not gonna try to, get what's in the hoop.
Oh, so there are flowers. I couldn't see that there were.
White flowers?
Yeah.
White
Now some of
flowers,
these flowers, like this one,
Mm-hmm.
where it's just a stick. I think that those are supposed to be lazy daisy stitches. But what is this?
Oh, just a random, back and forth,
And then this,
long stitches.
that just looks like embroidery. It doesn't look like
It
lazy
does.
daisy stitches
Yeah.
or. So I'm like, well, I may just embroider it.
Yeah.
And then do you wash it and the printing comes out? Is that what happens?
I don't know. It doesn't say to wash it. I don't know how.
If it'll show.
Color fast the threads are.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm afraid to wash it. And if I were to experiment on a corner, I guess I could do that.
Or just take a clipping of the thread and put it in water.
Yeah. It doesn't show that much when you stitch on it.
Oh, that's good. I was
Yeah.
curious.
You can see it kind of, but it's not that bad.
So,
Like right in here, you can see it.
Yeah.
yeah. So again, was this a kit?
It was a kit that came all the way from China.
Oh, yeah.
And I saw this kit and I kept seeing it and I was like, I really like that. And I know how to do lazy daisy stitches and I can do satin stitches. Not well, but I can do them, and
You'll be able to do them well by the time you're done.
no, they're getting worse. So it comes with plenty of thread. I've only used part of one of the hanks, and it comes with several hanks of the blues. So I'm thinking the reds and the whites will be plenty as well. I'm thinking that the thread might not be water
Color fast.
fast. But yeah, you're right. I should test that because then I could maybe gently wash in like Dawn or something to see if I can get out the ink color. But that's all right. I mean,
it looks like
if I
though
can't,
it's okay.
if I can't, I'll be happy with it the way it is.
From a
so.
distance, it seems like it should be fine.
So I keep working on Crazy Stitch. Not a lot. I'm working on it less often than I had been, just because I don't know. I just want to get it done by next Christmas. It was Robert's Christmas present this past year, so. So I have some blue letters in there. When I do work on it, I only work on it for about 15 to 30 minutes. Not a lot. But I figure every stitch is a stitch in progress.
Right. Absolutely.
And then
You live in boring Arizona and every day is the same.
that is not the problem. The problem is this pattern.
Uh-oh.
Well, it's not the pattern. It's me and the pattern. Okay? So each line is a different day. Some of the lines are really long, so this takes forever, right?
Uh-huh.
So I chose not to frog. Because somehow I got off on how many days. So
Oh, no.
April's day is supposed to have 30, it has 32.
That's okay. We can have 32 days in April.
I just was like, okay, I'm just finishing this like this. It's a dog. Because,
Let me see.
and when I counted it, I couldn't figure out where the mistake was. So I was just like, whatever, I'm just gonna do it. And there's supposed to be a little smidge of yellow here, if that indeed was where the yellow was supposed to go. But the last few days have been warm, so it has the right color combination. It's just too many days. And I could not figure out where, because I kept going, no, that's not, that's right. And I'd count it, and I'm like, no, there's too many there. So I got very frustrated, because it's really easy to get off because you're skipping and you're,
Yeah.
you know.
Going across
And
instead of
here's
more
May
connected.
1st,
Tiny little ears.
the tips of ears.
That's funny.
And deciding where to put those ears, that was a challenge. So I chose the wrong pattern, but I'm going to persevere and just keep working on it. And if nothing else, it'll come out looking like dogs and cats. Hopefully.
Might be a little tall, but
I did some more work on The America Berry by Erica Michaels.
the Erica.
Yeah. She did a video with just this, saying, you know, how she chose to put out the free pattern. So I'm glad that I got one. And you can get these little pins from Just Another Button Company, and I'm like, I want those pins.
Yeah, cute.
I just don't want to pay for them. It's not that. It's just I have to watch where I spend my stitching dollar. But here's where I am. I got the 250. I finished the Erica.
America's.
And I'm starting on the bunting to go back the other way.
If my name was Erica, I would totally take advantage of that.
Well, her name technically isn't Erica. It's Erica Michaels, but the designer's name isn't Erica.
Is
Oh, that's funny.
is that one of the Bestitch Me fabrics, or is it?
Bestitch Me.
I mean, yeah, the grab bag.
Yeah, that's not Bestitch Me. That's just a grab bag. Oh,
It's from Bestitch Me.
how do you know that? It didn't say that.
Yeah, I think it did.
No, it didn't.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
it didn't.
Anyway,
It's one of the fabrics that Vicky sent us. At 32 count, and I love stitching on that fabric. It is so soft. It feels so good. Well, one of the patterns that I wanted to concentrate on for
I forgot about that.
well, it was last month, April, was ruby throated hummingbird. My goodness, say that fast a couple of times. And I didn't get tons and tons done. I finished this flower, and I got a second flower put in there. I started the beak of the hummingbird. I put in a ladybug, and I got down to this flower. I love this fabric. I love sparkles, but it drives my eyes bananas. So I was frogging as much as I was stitching, so I'm lucky to have gotten that far.
That's a pretty pattern. I forgot about that one.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love the boomerang stitches. That's who this is by, is Boomerang Stitches. Most of her patterns that she puts out, I'm like, oh, I love that. She's the one that put out the raccoon inside the presents,
Oh yeah.
which I haven't even kitted up, let alone thought about starting.
That's cute.
This is May. I would love to do Mania, except I have so many projects going that it would be insane. So my WIP-GO calls for this month is Cobblestone Castle by Stitch Toolbox, which was given to me by a viewer. And this
Let me
is
see.
where I'm
I
supposed to
remember.
do 5 days on it.
Oh yeah, that's cute.
This is where I am so far, just the bottom of one of the pumpkins. And this is on some 32 count linen in a color that I don't remember the name of. I have more. But I did.
You didn't dye that yourself?
No,
You bought it like that?
no, I bought it. I bought it at the attic.
Oh.
And the other WIP-GO call is this Rollis Hedgehog. It's a kit. And I was working on this yesterday, cursing the name of Rollis.
I see the front.
The color that I'm working on right now.
It's cute though.
Look
the
at his little feet.
feet.
The color I'm working on right now is virtually the same color as the fabric.
Oh no.
And this is wool thread.
Oh.
So when you frog,
It fuzzes. and
you have to throw it
destroys.
away.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if I'm even going to have enough thread to finish. Part of me was like, I should just throw away all these threads and find DMC the same color and get a new piece of fabric and have at it. Because I love the pattern. It's adorable. But I will never again buy any of these wool. Rollis makes other kinds. They make some using anchor threads and stuff. But this wool thread is just not for me. Now, as you recall, I finished Trick or Treat by Barbara Anna last month. Because I thought that was my WIP-GO call. Remember? Fail. No, it was not. The WIP-GO call was Trick or Treat. I mean, not Trick or Treat. Tabby's Halloween by
Oh,
Teresa Kogut.
for April?
It was supposed to be in April. I was supposed to work on this instead of Tabby's Halloween.
You mean instead of Trick or Treat?
Exactly. I'm confused. Now you understand why I made the problem in the first place.
Some kind of Halloween with I don't know. Some
But
cat
I
Halloween.
was supposed to work on a Halloween project. I did. Anyway, I was supposed to work on this Teresa Kogut pattern.
But you got something finished, so that's great.
I did. I'm not going to get this finished. I'm not getting anywhere near getting this finished. This is where I am so far. I'm supposed to do 5 days on this, and because there's enough days now, and I'm going to do it because instead of the project that I wanted to concentrate on for part of the month, I'm choosing to concentrate on this because I didn't do it last month. The other WIP-GO fail of starting that other one, oh well. The 2 projects that I'm supposed to start. Oh, the other one I'm going to concentrate on is hands-on design. This is the summer basket. Now the other 2 I made into a biscornu. Here it is. I was thinking about taking just the plain fabric and stitching around it and making a biscornu with a plain back. Or I can just finish this as a square. So I'll be done with it soon. So I'm going to work on that some this month. The things I'm supposed to start on. My WIP-GO calls for starts. One is Art Deco Fall, or Art Deco Autumn by Cross Stitching for Fun, which is now Sunflower Cross Stitch. And they have a shop on Etsy, and you can also find them on Facebook. And I dyed this fabric when I bought that pattern, I want to say in 2019.
Oof.
Maybe 18. No, 2019. This is 28 count even weave that I dyed.
That's pretty.
I dyed this in summer and spring, and I didn't have enough fabric for for winter, and so I just dyed the winter recently when I started that one last month. Was it last month? It might have been March. The other new start I'm supposed to do is Erica Michaels again, Quilting Berries. I love this pattern.
Oh, those are pretty.
I have to decide which one I want to do. I'm thinking I'm not going to do the full coverage one.
Yeah.
Actually,
That's my favorite though.
I think it is my favorite too, but I don't want to work on it because it's just a new start, and if I'm going to do a new start, I want to have time.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking I'm going to do the one that says quilting. It's just words.
Yeah.
But I'm going to look at the patterns, and I'm going to do it on this fabric, which is Stormy Night 32 count Lugana. I have just enough to make another berry. I made a berry on it before. I think it might have been for summer, but it might have been for autumn last year. Not last year. Whenever Helen D had the berry SAL. And I think I am finally at the end of my projects.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, that brings us to our question of the week. Last week, we asked about your habits for stitch-alongs. And we got some answers. Chris Cook says that she does well with stitch-alongs on the whole. And most of her stitch-alongs is with a group of friends. And it's fun to encourage and tease each other, and that she usually finishes, but not always on the date plan. I think that's fun when it's like a small stitch along with people you know. And Vicky says no stitch along for this girl. No stitch alongs for this girl. Mary Passmore says that she will not do stitch along or a mystery along, whether it's crochet, knitting, kind of cross stitch. She's a slow stitcher and doesn't want to push herself to keep up. That is totally fair.
Mm-hmm.
That's me now.
Yeah. Elizabeth Donaldson says she's been in 2 mystery knit-alongs and failed with both of them. I couldn't understand how people could finish the clue in a few hours. It was stressful and not fun, so she stays away from them. Yeah, you don't want to stress with something that's supposed to be
I found that knit-along kind of stressful.
Yeah.
Because, then the new one was coming out, and I'm like, I'm two things ago.
I know, it's a lag along. And then Kathy Evans says that she's never done a stitch along. Knit along, crochet along, she has done. Some she finishes, some she gets discouraged by how the item is turning out, like if it's a mystery probably. She's done mystery and regular knit alongs. I have a mystery lace shawl with beads I never finished. Did I say lace? Now, also I have to just add, in the back of my mind, maybe right back here, there's a part of me that's like, I want to do like a full, okay, so I have in my Ravelry favorites, I have a shawl, and I told Hannah, I can't tell you what it is, because what I titled it is When Hannah Gets Married. Like, and it's this beautiful lace weight white shawl. It's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Actually, there's 2 of them. And so I look at them every once in a while, like, someday I'm going to make those. But, so yeah, I hear you on the lace. It scares me, but I'm kind of thinking about it sometimes. So this week, we want to ask you, since it is now May, do you do any Mania projects? I guess there's several Mania stitching things that people do, like, I don't know what they are, like in cross stitch.
Yeah, there's in
regular Mania.
Yeah, for Mania, people do variations that they do. What it first started out as is like people would start do a new start for every day in the month of May.
Oh.
So they would have like 31 new starts.
Yeah, no thank you.
And then other people did like as many projects as matched the year. So like if it was 2019, you do 19 projects.
Oh my gosh.
I did something like that the first time I did Mania. I think I matched the year. So I had, I don't know how many, it may have been 19 projects, I don't remember. Another year I did I did Ship Mania because I had I
And
had
she just made that up.
yeah,
Yeah.
I have 4 ship patterns, and so I did one each week of May. Right?
Yeah,
And then
I
I
remember
had
that. I remember that.
and then so but this month people are doing Market Mania. So if they
This year,
bought they bought new
Well, even
patterns
any
that-
market.
yeah.
Any year's market.
So anything they bought at Market that they hadn't started yet, or I guess worked on or whatever, they're working on for the month of May. So I guess you can do as many as you
You
have
do whatever
or whatever.
you want,
so,
but
yeah.
so it's just
So
like,
what are you doing?
yeah. So
Yeah.
are you doing anything for May in a mania style, going crazy with the patterns and the stitches
I would
and
dearly love to do the Market Mania and start everything that I bought in this year's market and last year's market and just start them.
Yeah.
I would love that. But then it would give me hives because I couldn't work on them.
yeah, yeah. So let us know what you're doing for May,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think I don't think
I just have work mania. That's what I have.
yeah, I don't think I'm doing anything for Mania. The one thing I'm puzzling over is because when you were talking about Market Mania, I thought, oh, I could do that. But actually, I have an aversion to new starts. The new start thing is not necessarily my favorite. I love having WIP, so I can pick it up and work on it, and I get to the end and I think, I could keep working on this.
Decisions.
And but then like with new starts, I've got to choose a fabric with the right size and blah blah blah, and it's a little more, a lot of detail and thinking and choosing and blah blah blahing, and so once I've got it started, then it's easy for me to pick it up and work on it. But so I haven't felt the pull to do a whole bunch of new starts.
Yeah.
I love new starts. I love doing new starts. But that many new starts,
I can't imagine. Doing
yeah, no.
That's why I did Ship Mania that one year because
Even-
it's
Smart.
like 4
Even
projects.
2 new starts for me
Yeah.
every month. I'm like, okay, now when am I going to be able to get back?
Yeah.
So everything on my WIP-GO this year is stuff I did new starts for last year.
Well, see, and that's what for WIP-GO, has been one of my sort of circular things is that because every block of WIP-GO, I have my WIP, but then I have a new start because I had so many patterns sitting around, So I wanted to get them started. So now I have this, so like, this was a new start last year, and so now it's a WIP.
All right.
And
Right.
so I have like, if you look at the WIP-GO board, there's 25 things. I've got 25 WIPs, and I'm like, I've got so many finishes this year or whatever. And then but then I plugged in a new start. So it's, I have 25 WIPs and 25 new starts. And then next year I'll have 25 WIPs and 25 new starts. So,
No, you'll
it's
have more than 25 WIPs.
yes.
Because
But-
the WIPs
yes.
are exponentially
Yes,
multiplying.
because I'm not finishing 25.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't have 25 finishes.
Yeah.
So now you probably have like.
Yeah,
We
she
don't
does make a lot. She does do a lot of finishes, but both of us need to take more time unpacking the house.
Yeah.
And less time stitching.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
So, yeah.
Well,
I had fun last week doing stuff like sewing and all that.
Yeah.
But I did a lot of stitching too. And I'm considering not doing WIP-GO and just planning out my year for what I want to start when and
Yeah.
because it's May and I'm working on Halloween and I was working on Halloween around Easter,
Right. Right.
But and that's why I have I'm going to concentrate on this, but it would be better if I could plan those out because then I, like I said, I had a WIP-GO fail because I was supposed to start that one project and I just didn't want to.
Yeah.
It was a Christmas project and it was,
I say you're kind of a seasonal stitcher, aren't you? Yeah, you like to. Yeah.
It puts you in the mood. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you could just do a calendar and just be like, okay.
that's what I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then I did WIP-GO too because I like WIP-GO because it forces you to work on WIPs, not just new starts, you know.
Right.
And I've gotten a lot of finishes this year, not as many as I would like. But you know, then I get one of my viewers on my channel said, I think you need to work on less projects at once. Because
And
I
you're
have
like,
all those
don't
things
call me out like that.
I have all of those things from Flosstube Frenzy.
Yeah.
And it's getting to the point where I'm like, I don't want to work on these.
Yeah.
Because I'm enjoying what I'm working on, and then
You have to
the
stop
video
and-
comes out, and I'm like,
Yeah.
but everything that I put on that, I want to finish it. And I'm not getting a whole lot of finishing done because I'm like busy doing other things too. So it's not really working out for me. So I think I'll leave them where I can work on them. And if the video comes out and I feel like working on it, I will. But you know,
Yeah, you know, I think that's the thing with all these different not games, but you know,
there are
different
games.
different.
It's kind of like a game.
Yeah,
They are
but I mean,
games.
all these different
Systems.
systems. That's the word I want. That you know, to try to get either to have prompts or like WIP-GO or whatever, some reason to help you organize all your projects and decide what to stitch on, so that part of it is it helps because some system is making the decision for you rather than you looking at this big giant pile of WIPs and going, I don't know what I want to work on. So something is telling you why to work on this project instead of that project. And so, it can be good, but there's something to be said for just like stitching what you want when you want. And so, so whatever works for you, it, like for me, WIP-GO works really great because it takes the decision out of my hands, which is what holds me
You
up a lot of
need,
times.
yeah.
Yeah. And so because of WIP-GO, I'm able to get, several finishes. Whereas if I had to do it on my own, I would, I'd flit around and not get anything done, I think. So
You just need to become obsessive like me.
yeah, and so it's it really helps me, to get through stuff a lot faster. Oh, I meant to mention, last week I had finished the little the one snowman, my Lego kit.
Ah.
And so I finished the other one that it goes with it.
They're so cute.
This is a little lantern.
So now we know what to buy Beth. Little Lego kits.
Yeah. It was funny, there was something I had done, I don't remember if it was on this one, that I had like put these little, side things, I had put them too low or something, and I was like, why does this not work? What? And I stared at it and like, had to go back and like undo it and redo
You
it.
had to frog it.
Yes, I did.
You had to frog your Legos.
But yeah, so I did this.
Legos, I think, are right up your alley because it's like you do this step, do this step, do this step, do this step, do this step.
Yeah, I'm very much a, follow the
All
instructions
yeah.
kind of person, yeah. Yeah, people who, like, there are people, I've watched, like Helen D does it a lot, and other people that, where they said, well, I just decided I didn't like that, and I want to do this color, and I just decided to leave this part of the pattern off and do this,
Eve does that all the time.
And, yeah, and to
It's
me,
probably
I'm
why I
like,
can't find my threads ever.
and to me, I'm just like, this is what the instructions say to do, so this is what I'm doing. The only thing I don't do is the fabrics. I don't do call for fabric. And I used to just do only DMC and not do fancy floss. But then I went down the fancy floss rabbit hole, and so now I have like everything. The only thing I haven't done is like some people do silk conversions for everything, and that I have not done. I've done the only
You
one.
don't do wool like Eve's.
Yeah, I was telling Eve, I have some skeins of wool thread. It's like wool and silk blend or something, that I've had since, was it 2019 that the first, what do you call it? The stitching retreat here in Arizona. Stitch-a-Nanigans. I was gonna say, I was gonna look at my T-shirt. I'm not wearing my Stitch-a-Nanigans T-shirt. But you know, there was a raffle thing, and you know, I had bought several raffle tickets, and one of the things I won was this thread. And then later on, I thought, you know, I don't know what I would use it for, because it's wool thread, and I, you know, none of my patterns call for that, and it wasn't like, and they were kind of muted colors, like I think there was a sort of a muted blue and some beiges and things like that. So nothing that really stuck out in my mind, like, oh, use this thread. And so I have them put away somewhere, but I've never.
And Eve just said, I'm never using wool ever again.
Yes, I've never felt compelled to use them. So yeah, they're in my arsenal. So you know, maybe someday.
Mistakes to use wool.
Yeah, maybe someday I'll use them for something. But like I said, I don't feel any pull to use them for anything.
Speaking of frogging, and frogging wool, this pattern, you know, it's like it started with like 560 stitches, and then at the end of each welt you decrease by 16 stitches, because there's 8 sections. It's divided by 8 sections, and you decrease on this end of the section and on that end of the section. There's markers, and I don't know how many times and I know I'm on the last round, but there I go, whoop, right past the marker, and I have to tink back, which is knit backwards, T-I-N-K. I have to tink backwards, do the decrease, and then go, and then whoop, I go past. I'm like so what's happening last night while I was watching. I was trying to get through. I'm like, I'm going to get through the end of this one welt before I go to sleep. 500 stitches takes about an hour, so you can imagine that I was up very, very late. But I kept knitting right. So I just did the first round of the next welt, and I'm like checking. Did I do the decrease last round? Because if not, I'm just going to do it here. But oh gosh, it's so hard to pay attention sometimes. I have no brains. I get to go bed shopping today.
Bed shopping.
Bed shopping.
That's a big thing.
Yeah, it is a big thing. And Mark's like, I'm excited because
not just mattress, but bed, huh?
No, mattress shopping. Mattress shopping. No. We're gonna stay with our same frame. But Mark's like, I'm just excited because we have to clean out under the bed. And I'm like,
you're excited by that?
Yes. I am too. I mean, you know how it goes. Like, things go and they migrate, especially when the cats, in their terror, they go running in there. So they, like, sometimes I'm like, where is my shoe? It's because a cat barreled through where my shoes happened to be in the wrong place, right? But whatever. And knocked my shoe way under the bed, and I get under there. I'm like, it's way under there. Because they shoved their little selves under there.
Well, you know, in the house, in the Aotuki house, I had a hardwood type floor because of the cats, because I figure, you know, it's easier to clean up cat barf and cat messes on hardwood than on carpet. But, you know, typically I would take off my shoes there beside my bed, and Snug loved to take my shoes and like play with them, and they disappear under the bed, and you know, like and my bed was kind of in the corner, and so my shoes would end up in the black hole of Calcutta under the bed, you know, where I couldn't reach them or anything. I had to get like a broomstick or something to fish my shoes out. And I remember one time I'm like, where the heck is the shoe? Where's my shoe? And I kind of looked under the bed. I didn't see it, and I looked in this corner and that corner, and whatever. And it was fine. It was like way back in there.
But yeah, no, we've had a purple mattress. I think it's been like 8 years now, and it when we first bought it, purple was brand new, and we first bought it. I remember, because the mattress we had before, I had started to have back aches, and I'm like waking up feeling worse than when I went to bed, right? I'm like, this is wrong. So we got the purple, and I remember those first nights on it, I was like, it cured me. I would wake up actually feeling good, like rested, and my back wouldn't hurt. And now I'm back to that. Whereas if I sleep in my bed, I wake up in the morning with horrible back pain. and I can sleep in my stupid recliner and not feel that way. I can sleep, anywhere else almost. And so I'm like, no, it's time. I cannot handle it. So anyway,
Yeah, I was thinking I need to get a new
So
mattress.
we're-
My mattress is getting.
we have a date to go mattress shopping this afternoon, so that's exciting. And then I'm gonna have to clean my room. because
Not the fun part.
because and now that our season is over and our weekends are mine again, I have more time and more brain power. Although it's gearing up to get very stressful. So we're starting to build the new season and making all those changes, and my job is stressful. Everyone else, like in operations, is like, oh, the season's over. I'm like, oh no, the season's over. That means I have to get ready for the next one, and there's all these question marks, and
I was
Anyway,
glad
that's
that
my
we had
problem.
our last orchestra concert on the
that was a
28th.
blessing on Tuesday night.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like,
I have you're gonna think I'm an awful person, but I have this phrase I say sometimes when I'm listening to a concert or a performance that I really just do not like, and I think in my mind at the end, I think clap because it's over. And that is my highest insult to any other musician. And I feel guilty about it, but I think it very often. And as I was getting ready for the concert Tuesday night, I'm brushing my hair, and Mark is in there, and I'm like, clap because it's over. It's not because we did okay. We did okay.
I told Beth that one song. I'm like, you guys don't know it. You don't know it. The concert's coming, and you don't know it.
yeah, that's what a lot of times I'll sit there when it's very close to performance, like the day before, the week of before the concert or whatever, and it's just not.
Not gelling.
Not going well, and I'm like, when is this concert? Because and
one.
And to be
piece in
fair,
particular-
they play with a community orchestra. It's,
Yeah.
all different skill sets.
Yeah, exactly. And there's just this one piece that was just not conducive to our skill level.
Yeah, it was just
And it just kind
Not
of
going well.
it showed our weaknesses in
Yeah.
the worst way. And so I was not looking forward. Everything else went okay.
But that's what we get. The overture to Candide, which is a great piece, and
John Williams
and
went
we had
well.
John Williams, all the famous pieces, and like that. So
Well, and that piece that I'm talking about that you guys didn't know well, it's pretty. If the notes are round.
and it's one of those things that is puzzling because you're just like, I don't know why we couldn't play it, but we just couldn't.
Well, so
And-
it is harder to play slow than it
Yeah.
is to play fast. It just is because you have to have more control. Your intonation is exposed.
You have to concentrate.
You have to count.
Yeah.
And a lot of people in certain levels of musicianship, literally they play a long note and their brain turns off.
Yeah.
And then they miss what comes
Yeah.
next because they're like, okay, I'm playing a long note. But actually, when you're playing a long note, it's when you have to pay the most attention, almost, because everything else, when it's fast, when it's moving, you go with the flow. You just
Yeah.
go. But when it's slow, you have to control your sound. You have to control, and that was like the intonation and the sound was hard because it was exposed. It was like this big long phrases, and you're like,
There were some beautiful horn parts when they played them.
Our horn players are great.
Well, and I was gonna say the other thing is that when a piece of music doesn't have the oral cues that oral cues that you're used to or that you expect or whatever. So the like when we were doing the John Williams, everybody's familiar with those tunes and everything, and so like if you like miscount like one little thing,
You can jump back in.
you can jump back in because okay, the phrase starts here, or this is the melody, and then I come in right here. But on this particular piece, it was very like a Fantasia kind of on American the Beautiful. It was easy, a
pretty.
familiar tune, but an unfamiliar way of setting it. And so where you would think a thing goes, it doesn't go there. It goes over here or whatever. And so people were like not concentrating the way they needed to.
Yeah.
And so
and
it was,
you know what? It's interesting. to delve into a nerdy music talk, but the piece, the actual edition, had usually in music you have markers that like rehearsal numbers, right? And they can be letters, like, rehearsal letter A, rehearsal letter B, and it's just a way for us to be like, okay, let's start at B, let's start at C. And in good editions of music, those correlate with a thematic change, a phrase, a new section, a new sound. But this one was just numbered every 10 measures, regardless. And so was Candide, actually, which was also confusing. But because I knew it was okay. But this was numbered every 10 measures, regardless of what was happening. So when the rehearsal numbers would come, like a lot of times you could think, okay, at section A is when the oboes come in, or when the horns come in, and so at least in the wash of this, I have that anchor, and there were none. It was one of those where like you have 10 measures like this, and you have to literally mark, okay, like it's 10 measures of rest, but 3 of it is the strings, and then the clarinets come in, and I literally mark so that it helps me to count. But if you don't have the skill set to know to do that, it because sometimes in pieces like that you have to disregard those rehearsal and make your own. Like, this is a new section and this is a new section. Yeah. But and so it was a little bit above our pay grade. Yeah. And so that was frustrating, but it went fine. Yeah. It was fine. Like, just one of those things. My daughter used to say every once in a while when she was getting ready for a piece or a performance that wasn't going well for whatever reason, she'd be like, well, it'll go. Like, no matter what, it's going to happen. Yeah. And however it happens is how it's going to happen. So, yeah, and I'm kind of like, well, there were times when I was working as a professional, when we'd be, the conductor would kind of assume that, like we'd concentrate on one piece because it was very difficult, or it had, and the other piece, we'd gone through it a couple of times, and then like you're going, are we ever going to play that piece again? Because you're like, I don't even remember how it goes, Right. And so you have to like, or when you rehearse something so much and you never go through it. Like, you don't go all the way through it because you're concentrating on this one section and you haven't played all the way through. That's right. There was some times when I even asked our conductor, can we do that transition without any words or any prep? Because the age and the skill set of the orchestra, a lot of times our conductor is like, okay, we're going to, like, we come up to a stop and we've got to start in a new tempo, so he'll like count off or whatever, and I'm like, you cannot do that in the concert, and I have to get, and like there was a couple where I was starting the new section, I'm like, I need to catch your tempo from silence, and he's like, you're right. There was one piece I played in the ASO where we had our assistant conductor at the time was doing this particular concert. I don't know if it was a children's concert or I don't know what. But one of the pieces we were playing, it's a very famous Mozart overture thing, and the beginning of it is it's very naked and exposed, and it's the Figaro. Yes, it's so, and it starts with the bassoons. Yeah, the bassoons and the violins, right, playing the same figure. But the problem was, like, ordinarily, the conductor gives you a little prep to start, and so you see the tempo in this prep. And this guy had some stupid big idea that he didn't want to do the. He's like, and I asked him something because I was playing first on this particular concert. And it's very nerve-wracking because you have to get, because it's all together, you have to get the tempo right, because otherwise you're going one tempo and they're going another tempo, and so, and he was like not really giving a prep. He just wanted to just start, like, and I'm like, can you please just give, a little bit of a something, so, and he's like, oh, we'll find each other, and I'm like, no. That's not how any of this works. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. And it's like, it's like,
that's what he's supposed to be up there doing.
Yeah,
to help you find each other.
You're a violinist, and there was sort of this at the time, this big idea of we don't need a conductor. We're just and it's sort of
certain people bought into this idea of like, we just listen to each other and follow each other. And I'm like, no,
never works.
The guy up front with a stick is the arbiter of the beat. And if everybody follows the
in
stick,
certain chamber music situations and in certain orchestras, you can't.
and
do
there's
it
a handful
like
of people.
Yeah. But where you can see the concertmaster very well and blah blah blah.
But when there's 80 people, everybody,
it's not gonna work.
no, it doesn't work that way. So anyway, that's a musical philosophy thing. But anyway,
All right.
But yeah, so it's
So said bed adventure is starting soon, so I must depart.
Yes.
So thank you so much for joining us again in this happy, and I'm kind of hot right now. May, oh good, your air conditioner just kicked on. Because May is heating up. I'm going to Chicago on the 19th, and I looked at the weather, and I am going to freeze. But that means I could take my sweater. So anyway, if you're in Chicago area, tell me what the weather's going to be like. So I have to think about that. And I'm very upset because while they were talking, I was looking at the yarn requirements, and the linen yarn for those tops, the Dando linen that she, obviously it's her yarn, is a worsted weight. And all the linen yarns that are solid colors at Tempe Yarn and Fiber are DK weight, which is thinner. So now I'm like, but is Dando really a worsted weight, or is it a thin worsted weight, which I could get away with a DK weight? So anyway, I've got all these questions in my mind now because I was like, I wanted to buy the yarn today, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to. But I still have time. Yeah. So anyway, I am going to go, and we are going to go, and we are going to see you next week. Thanks so much for joining us again. Bye.
Bye.